Hello and welcome back, treasure hunters. Today I am showing you some auction purchases that I made. Just got 2 packages today in the mail, and I have made a couple really good auction purchases over the last, 3 weeks or so. It does take me, depending on where I get these different items, might take a little bit for it to ship and everything else. But I've collected a handful of really awesome pieces, plus I had a huge sale on one of the auction purchases that I made back in, October, November of last year, maybe even later than that. I didn't have it up on the store too long, but I made a huge profit off of one of those pieces. The other one I made a pretty good profit too. Both were purchased at auction. So if you want to see how much profit I made and the other pieces that I recently got in the mail, so just stick around and we will take a look. So obviously I love going to the thrift stores. It's my main spot where I find inventory for my store. There are, just a ton of different types of items, like whether it's, I concentrate a lot, especially in my videos and stuff, on art and different things like that, just because I see, there's just a lot of profit potential in that kind of stuff. But I will never turn down, whether it's a pair of sneakers or a t-shirt, like vintage t-shirts or electronics or anything like that. All of that stuff is fair game if I can flip it for a profit. Auctions, on the other hand, it's all about how much money am I investing in an item and what can the return be on that? Because it's not going to be as cheap as the thrift stores, especially if you are buying, things at estate auctions in other states and everything else. You're going to have to pay for shipping. So you have to take all of that into consideration. And it's important to tally all that up before you make any sort of purchases or bids, because the last thing you want is to end up with a bunch of inventory that you're going to lose money on because you can't sell anything for, more than you paid for it with the shipping costs and everything else, premiums for the auctions and yada, yada. So today I'm going to go over some really good auction buys that I've had, plus a couple really nice auction sales that I made in the last week. So here is the first item. I'm going to show you, this is a vintage oil painting on canvas, obviously not very large, but it is an original oil painting, and it is signed up here in the corner and dated 1972. So this I got at auction, I did an estate auction, and it was not identified. So there was, no artist identification. But it did clearly show the signature, and I was able to decipher that and find out that this was done by Evelyn Embry. So she did a variety of different like nude portraits and stuff that I saw at different auction sites or on eBay or whatever. I got this for $30, and her work actually sells, it's kind of all over the place, but the cheapest, price that I saw at auction or estimate was $500. And some of her work was obviously larger than this, but those are selling into the $2,000 to $3,000 range. And this is just another example of being able to figure out the artist of a painting and taking advantage of that against other bidders that, aren't going to take the time to do that. It's in really good condition. There's a teeny tiny little divot right here. That's the only thing that's really wrong with this. I did put a couple nails because this was kind of flopping in and out of the frame, which would be kind of annoying, especially even during shipping and stuff. And somebody that gets something and the picture's falling out of the frame might be kind of annoyed by that. So I just stuck a couple nails in here in the back, which is no big deal, just to hold it in a little better. And just over time, just probably got loose or whatever else. But very nice little oil painting. It'll be super easy to ship. And hopefully if I could get $500 to, $1,000 on this painting, it'd be really awesome. And it's kind of what I'm shooting for. Next piece I got at auction here, I actually got for just over $200. And I got this from a local auction house that I think it's, I don't know, about 15, 20 minutes away from me. Picked this up in person, so I didn't have to pay shipping or anything like that. This is an antique oil painting on canvas. It's dated 1903, and this was done by Olaf Martinus Bronner. And it'll probably be pretty tough to read just because of the age and stuff. But it is signed down here. This is another item that was just listed as an antique oil painting. And it did have really good photos and stuff, so I was able to decipher, figure out who the artist was on this. You can definitely tell it's an original old oil painting. One way to look, if you ever are wondering, the age of a painting or, like an oil painting or canvas painting or anything, a couple dead giveaways on this piece at least are, one, how dark the wood is on the back and how, the stretcher is in here. There are nails holding the canvas down and it's just very dark and aged. More modern reproductions or paintings that might look old on the front. If you see like light wood on the back, like that's not aged like this, those are definitely reproductions. Same goes for the canvas. See how old and, dirty and stained the back of the canvas is. Anytime you see like a white or cream color canvas on the back, it's not an older oil painting. So I was able to decipher, I couldn't really read the first name, but I did decipher the last name, Bronner. And when you're looking at trying to figure out who might have painted something or made something, it's important to look at the styles also. I could pretty clearly read that it was Bronner, and I saw very similar styled seascape type painting that sold on Invaluable, or it was at least listed there, but it sold for $2,600. So I think it was a little bit larger than this. And this one you can see right here, there's a little bit of paint loss, but given that it is dated 1903, it's definitely done by Olaf Bronner. I know that. And I know that I should be able to get anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000 for this piece. I'm thinking more towards $1,500 to $2,000 for this piece. So really, really good find. And another example of, just doing a little legwork and figuring out the artist of the piece. Even if I do get only $1,000 or something for this, I only paid a couple hundred. So that's all good. So the next thing I got here is actually a sports card. And although it does look like a vintage sports card, this is actually done in 2020. And this is what you call a cut signature, where this player played at the beginning of the 20th century, Burley Grimes. And the cut signature is actually his actual signature. It's just cut out of something else and put into this booklet of a card. Only 10 of these were made. This is graded by Beckett, which is one of the top card grading companies. And just a very nice card here. These booklets are, an 8.5 is the scale out of 10. So this is actually pretty good grade, especially for a booklet thick card like this. Picked this up just because it was a really cool card, and I did see it, at auction I got it for $80, and I saw the ungraded, similar, same card, except that obviously this is 6 out of 10. I think the one on eBay I saw was a 10 out of 10, sold for like $125, and it was not graded, and they even put that, there was a little bit of damage to the card. So for $80, I should be able to at least double my money on this piece. And it's just a really cool sports card. So the next piece I picked up here, this is a framed etching. This was done by Bellmer. And it's kind of hard to see, so I'm going to scoot this up a little bit. But very well done, precise etching. And this actually was identified in the listing. And I got this for 150 bucks. And I just did a quick search on Bellmer etchings, and they were all priced well over $500. So it's kind of one of those things where I just bid my top bid of 150 bucks. I just said, if I win it, I win it. If I don't, I don't. And that's really it. And I ended up, winning for 150 bucks. So I'm going to look at the different listings again, but this is really cool, well-known artist. And I should definitely be able to get a nice profit off of this piece. Here's another etching that I got from the same auction, from the Bellmer piece. And this one was done by Andre Durain. And this also, in the title, it was not identified, but in the description of the piece, it was. I think that does kind of make a little bit of a difference. If it's just, because this was just titled a loose etching, like abstract etching or something. And then in the description, the artist was actually mentioned, because I would have never been able to decipher the signature on that. So I just did another quick search around the artist on this piece, and kind of the same thing. His pieces were all selling for quite a bit of money, and seeing that this is a loose etching, I knew I was not going to have to pay much more for shipping. Just because it just did come in a real heavy plastic sleeve. So it didn't really add anything. I got this one for 80 bucks. And his pieces were all selling for over 500 also. So I don't know if I can find a cool frame to put this in, I will, but I'll probably end up just selling this as a loose piece, and whoever buys it can frame it however they please. So here's the last piece I got from that same auction, and this is a engraving / kind of like a pen drawing, more recent. And this is actually done of pretty sure it's done of a book cover. It's on the back here. It has all the information. And I got this, I don't know, for like 20 or 30 bucks. And I just thought it was really cool. I did a search around the book and saw some different things. And I don't know, I just thought it was kind of a different, cool piece. And I think that kind of annoyed me with this, there are some like pencil marks on the matting. There is no glass on this, and that was stated, which is fine. But the matting's all dirty, and it was not like that in the photos. So it must have been done by the shipping company or something. So I don't really know if it's worthwhile, seeing that it was only like $20 or $30, if I'd even be able to get any money back or whatever. Like, I doubt they'll even care. But I might reach out and just kind of say, what the hell? But either way, as long as there's not really any pencil marks like on the actual piece of art itself, so it's not a huge deal, I guess. Not exactly sure how much I am going to price this one for, but it was one of those ones where I already knew I had two things that was being shipped anyway, so it really didn't add any shipping. So it's something I just bid on and should be able to make a profit off of. So here's the next piece, and I apologize for the glare, but this is a reverse painting, antique reverse painting. Got this at a local auction. I actually won this for only $6, and it's in an old, nice old frame, kind of ornate frame. And what a reverse painting is where the artist actually paints on the other side of the glass. So they kind of have to obviously paint these things in reverse. So anything in the foreground is going to have to be painted first, and then everything is painted afterwards in the background. So I have sold a couple different reverse paintings that I found out at the thrift stores. and made some real nice profit off of those. This one's actually, especially too, the frame is super nice and old, and it's really well done and colorful. There's a tiny bit of missing paint. That's what you'll see with reverse paintings, because after a while, especially depending on how it is framed, the paint may start to chip off of the glass, and that's what you can see here. Anyway, for $6, this was definitely something I would have bought at the thrift store for $6. I would have been happy about it. I recently sold kind of a similar, I sold one reverse painting, antique reverse painting of some ships for a couple $100. So I'll probably price this between $200 and $300 and knock it down if I have to, just because of the missing paint at the top. But really cool piece, and definitely a good find at the estate auction. So before I let you go, here's the final piece that I got. I'm just going to show you a photo of it just because it is so large. But this is an original oil painting I got at auction for $325. And this is obviously of Tom Brady. It is a portrait done by a very well-known artist, Samantha Wendell. And she's done work across arenas and stadiums. And, you know, her work is in places like the Staples Center and US Bank Stadium, Lambeau Field. So she's a very well-known sports artist. She's done paintings of Muhammad Ali, Wayne Gretzky, even Sandy Koufax. And her paintings retail, depending on the size and complexity of the paintings, go anywhere from like $3,000 to, you know, upwards of $8,000 or $9,000. This is unframed, but the cool thing about this painting is she was actually commissioned by the New England Patriots to do these team portraits. And right after she started, she did 2 paintings of Brady that were pretty similar. And then the owner of the Patriots got caught in that, I don't know, massage parlor scandal. And so the thing was put on hold, and then Brady was, you know, went to Tampa. So kind of squashed the whole project. But these 2 paintings were the only 2 pieces that were painted. So it kind of gives them some rarity. Obviously, given the size and stuff, it actually cost me more to ship it than I won it for. So I would not accept anything less than $3,000 for this piece. I think it might take a little bit of time to sell, but I definitely think I'll be able to sell it. So this is a huge, awesome find, super cool piece of art. And I'm sure that, you know, the right sports fan will eat this up. We'll see. I'll keep you updated on this piece, but really awesome. So the last thing I'm going to show you real quick is one of my recent auction buys. I picked this, actually both of these pieces I picked up at estate auctions online. One here is done by Doris M. Carter. It's kind of an abstract piece. I picked this up for like $15. And the other one here is another kind of abstract piece. And this was done by Julio Paz. And this one, well, actually, both of these were not identified in the listings, and I was able to identify them before making the purchase. And I sold the Julio Paz I had listed actually on my Etsy store for $1,000, and it was 15% off. So I sold this one for $850, and the other one I think I had listed for $250 and also 15% off. So really big order, went to the same person. It was a big time profit on that piece. I got that one for $35. So plus shipping, I think with both of them, everything, it was about $100 to $125 investment. And I got, minus shipping and everything, about $1,000. So those are my recent estate auction buys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you like the most out of these. And I'd love to hear if you guys have any really cool estate auction finds that you've recently had. always interested to see, especially around the country, like, you know, what other sorts of things are out there and what are they priced at and everything else. I'm in the works. I've been wanting to go down to the Akron area. It's not too far from me. It's about 45 minutes. There's a whole bunch of thrift stores and one of the Goodwill outlets, which has the Goodwill bins and all that stuff, which I have not been to yet because there's nothing really around me. So I'm going to shoot a video once I get that all planned. And there are numerous Goodwill, Salvation Armies, and some other like boutique, like secondhand stores around the area. So I'll probably hit, 5 to 6 different stores on that and kind of tag my journey along. So I should be able to do that in the next couple weeks. So stay tuned for that. Obviously, I have some more thrift store finds to review, and I've been working on my guide. I have a website set up, so I'm going to drop the link to that. And if you're interested in getting a free copy of how to thrift for profit and flip thrift store finds on Etsy and eBay, I'm going to give this away for free. I don't know, to 100, 200, whoever wants it, as long as all I'm looking for is some feedback and let me know if anything is not clear or if there's any way I can improve it. So once I get it launched and everything, out of the draft stage, everything is good and useful. So I hope you enjoyed the content. I appreciate you watching. Hit that subscribe button for me and that like button if you enjoyed my different estate sale buys. And I'll be back soon. So if you guys get out to the thrift stores or any estate auctions or anywhere else, I hope you find some awesome things you can flip for a profit.